Всем привет. Меня зовут Hanfidol. My name is Fidola. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Today my topic to discuss transpersonal psychology. What is transpersonal psychology? How fields, how to explain, how to define, and how to branches of this field. First of all, we'll discuss the transpersonal psychology. Transpersonal psychology is itself field or school of psychology that integrates the spiritual and transcendence aspect of the human experience with the framework of modern psychology. Possible to define spiritual psychology experience in which the sense of identity or self extend beyond the individual or person and encompass. Many issues included in transpersonal psychology include spiritual self-development, self-bind, ego, metastical experience, peak experience, systemic trans-spirituals, evolution, spiritual crisis, and altered status of consciousness. Spiritual practice also, but how to meditate and how many definitions of transpersonal psychology. Transpersonal psychology, first Lijo and Sharpio revived 40 definition of transpersonal psychology that appear in the academic literatures or the period from 1968 to 1991. State of consciousness, high or ultimate potential, bind the ego or personal self, transcendence, and the spiritual. But Herodotus, Kaplan, and Radians to define the transpersonal psychology, they found three dominant themes. They define beyond ego psychology, anti-grandian holistic psychology, and psychology of transformations. How to development of the field. The first development of the field is origin started from transpersonal studies are William James, Carl Jung, Robert Gilio, and Abraham Maslow. More recent attention has brought to light transparent aspects of genes, Piaget's untranslated French works, and agreed that Piaget's transpersonal experience and theoretical interest were a major motivation for Piaget's psychological research. Transpersonal can be found in the literature lecture notes which William James had prepared from a semester and Harvard University 1905 to 1906. Human Natures 1961. The further research of human nature in 1967 and 1968, Abraham Maslow was among the people who announced transpersonal psychology as a fourth force in psychology. Psychoanalysis, behaviorism, and humanistic psychology. Formative period. 1960, the term transpersonal was associated with a distinct school of psychology within the humanistic psychology movement. In 1969, Abraham Maslow, Stanislaw Grof, and Anthony Sech were among the initiators behind the publication of the first issue of Journal of the Transpersonal Psychology, the leading academic journal in the field. In 1972, the Association for Transpersonal Psychology was established and International was founded by Stanislaw Grof and held in first conference in Iceland 1973. This was soon to be followed by the founding of the Institution of Transpersonal Psychology, a graduate training center in 1975. The institute was founded by Robert Fragers and James Fadiman in response to the epidemic
Wilber is the information theory of consequences presented by John Batista. Batista suggests that the development of the self system and of human psychology. Michel Washburn presented a model of human development that is informed by psychoanalysis, object relations theory, and the deep psychology of Jungian perspective, a transpersonal theory of development. From 1988 to 1995. He presents a dynamic dialectical model of development. The model is updated in later publications such as Embodied, Spiritual in Sacred Word 2003. His early findings, which were based on observation from LSD research, uncovered four major types of experience that, according to Groove, correspond to level in the human on consequence. Number one, it's abstract and ecstatic experience. Number two, it's psychodynamic experience. Three, parental experience. For transpersonal experience, Groove returns to many of these findings in later book. Stewart Suvatitsky. The idea of development is also featured in the spiritual psychotherapy and psychology of Stewart. His understanding of human development. And according to this model, a number of advanced yogic processes are said that assist in maturation of the insured body, and Ferreira's approach to participatory thinking has been taken up in the context of psychoanalysis. From Ferreira's Christmas of Bernilism, Robin Brown adopts the particularly paradigm as a means to fostering clinical pluralism. Transpersonal theory of George Ferrer, the stewardship of George Ferrer introduced a more pluralistic and participatory perspective on spiritual and ontological dimensions. And transpersonal psychology therapy, early contributions to the field of transpersonal psychotherapy includes the approach of Walsh and Vegan. The first book to survey the field of spatially oriented psychotherapy, published by the American Psychological Association in 2005, included a chapter on the transpersonal integrative approach to therapy, clinical and diagnostic issues. Transpersonal psychology has also brought clinical attention to the topic of
Hi everyone, myself Muskan Sayed, and today I am here to give some short information on locations, organizations and publications the leading institution within the field of transportation physiology in an association for transportational psychology, which was founded in 1972. Past presidents of the association include Ansel Green, James Fadman, and the Franz Wilgen, Anthony Estington, Dinian Gulmark, Robert Franger, Ronald Rings are the sum of an international organizations. Reception, recognitions, and criticism. Reception of transpersonal psychology in the surrounding culture reflects a wide range of views of options, opinions, including both the recognitive and the skepticism. The transcriptional physiology, psychology was been the topic of few academic articles and book reviews in other academic fields, including psychiatry, behavior science, psychology, social work, represented the contemporary psychology of the early 1980s, and Taylor represented the field of humanistic psychology, presented a balanced review of transpersonal psychology in the early 90s. On the negative side, he mentioned transpersonal psychology's tendency towards being psychologically native, poorly financed, almost anti-intellectual, and somewhat over it far as it is influenced. Criticism, skepticism, and response. Criticism and skepticism towards the field of transpersonal psychology has been presented by a wide assortment of commentators and includes both writers from within its own rank as well as writers representing other fields of psychology or physiology. However, Chan noted that a few critics did not differentiate between the field of transpersonal psychology on the one hand and a widened field of the transpersonal theories on the other. Criticism from other